I can prove it to you.
How can you prove it to me?
I can show you the state law.
Well, I can show you the state statute too that says that you cannot have that.
Oh boy, got ourselves a legal dick measuring contest here, boys. All right, guys and girls, grab your coffee, grab your beverage. We are going to Oklahoma City for a police impersonator. Someone just put this video in my lap today, so we're going to dive in together and see what we have going on.
Hello.
Hi.
Officer Brock, Oklahoma City. License and insurance, please.
What's the reason for the stop?
So back there, when you change lanes, you change signals.
Okay, first of all, I'm already noticing that there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on here, but I see this thin blue line flag attached to the top of the roof of the car, the ceiling in the car, as it were. There's all sorts of little stickers in there. Well, he's got some type of center console set up, and this isn't even like a cool Crown Vic or any modern police vehicle whatsoever. This is a freaking like Volkswagen Passat or something like that, which I've never seen one of those. Maybe they drive those in Germany as cops. I have no idea. But he's got the blue Volkswagen symbol, the thin blue line flag, and a freaking blue hat. I don't know if he thinks that maybe that's where cop impersonators start, is they just add this thin blue line gear, and eventually they think through some like magic osmosis or something, they will become the thin blue line. It's like Zen policing, like be the cop. Think cop, be the cop.
You have to signal 100 feet prior to changing lanes.
I didn't know that.
Yep, that's how you change lanes properly.
You're a
License
cop
and
and
insurance, please.
you didn't know that you had to
Is
use
this
your
like
blinker?
Some type of old police car or
No, I work at the National Weather Service.
the National Weather Service? So why do you have your lights on?
I had them on earlier. I forgot to turn them off.
I had him on earlier for God knows what. I was doing hurricane watching, and I needed my yellow lights while I was hunting for hurricanes, working for the National Weather Service. What in the world is going on with this dude? And why does he need a tough book?
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and have you step out, okay?
Why?
Well, because I told you to. Can you put those down? Do you have any?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Pennsylvania v. Mims. Oh, I've referenced it countless times. They have a lawful right to ask people out of the vehicle or have people get back in. He should know that, being the National Weather Service police and all.
Any weapons or anything on you? Like anything I need to know about?
Am I being arrested?
Well, we'll discuss that here in a minute, okay?
Okay, insider. Now, anybody with common sense knows the answer to this, but if you ask the direct question, am I being arrested, and the officer says, we'll talk about that in a minute, we'll discuss that later, well, you're definitely going to jail. Like that's it's a thinly veiled code for yes.
Can you unlock the door, please? Do you have any weapons on you?
No, why am I being arrested?
No weapons, no firearms, nothing like that?
No, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead and step out for me.
Why?
Face away from me. Face away from me, okay?
Whew. For the real crime is this sweater. Okay, I'm not convinced yet because I haven't seen the whole video just yet, but I'm not convinced that he's not being arrested because of his apparel. And I'm sure his grandmother will be upset if she can't get that out of his property while he's locked up.
Hands behind your back for me. Can you interlace your fingers like you're praying? Interlace them. Like put your fingers together.
Why am I being arrested?
We'll explain all that here in just a minute, okay?
No, he does have red and blues in the front. He told me he didn't. What does it look like from... Oh, we should have taken a video of that for her.
That's his no-no. Red and blue lights, baby. Although there are some weird states that use yellow lights for policing. It varies, but most states are red and blue.
Oh, what is this? A wannabe police officer?
Hey, you never know when you got to pull somebody over who might know something about an upcoming storm, all right? The people need to know about the weather, and I think we should have a law enforcement arm for weather people. Look at all these cops. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's either a slow night. I said they must be really interested in this dude because it's too cold to be out with that. Yeah, I don't want to be outside if I don't have to be. I'm not going to that call. It's too cold.
It's good. Oh, shoot. I think see, I couldn't see that.
Yeah, she's talking about I couldn't see that. Yeah, somebody actually was on the passenger side too earlier in the stop. So 2 people missed a gun belt lying on the front passenger floorboard. I think this turns out to be a pepper gun. So he's gone full dog the bounty hunter on the National Weather Service policing. So I don't know, is there a pepper ball that does something when you fire it in an F5 tornado? Again, yeah, I mean, these guys are lucky that wasn't a real gun, and this guy is more interested in pretending to be a cop than being an actual bad guy. So that could have turned ugly real quick. So just make sure if you're cops and watching this, let this be a lesson to you to really, really focus on the surroundings of what you're looking at. Got a little sweater with a badge on it. 5'11", baby.
Serial killer's trunk.
A serial killer's trunk. That's actually a pretty funny line. What's wrong with having a little duct tape and, bungee cord, a woman wrapped up in a bag? I mean, can a guy go out and hunt hurricanes in the winter with people he kidnaps and pretends to be a cop with? I thought this was America. All right, let's see how this sort of ends up here.
So here's the issue that we have, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You're driving a vehicle that says Police Interceptor on the back. You have a spotlight.
I didn't even catch that. Police Interceptor on the back of a freaking Volkswagen? I don't think so.
You have antennas. You have red and blue lights like we do. Only police officers should have those, okay? You don't work for the National Weather Service, okay?
I do
And
work for the National Weather Service.
an officer didn't give you those things to put on your car.
Yes,
so
he did.
You're being arrested for impersonating a police officer, okay? Do you understand that?
No, I
you
don't.
cannot.
Of course he doesn't. What do you mean? Does he understand it? No, he doesn't. He's indignant because he's lived so long in this fantasy world that he's become completely disconnected from reality. He probably also thinks there's 17 and counting genders.
You cannot have a vehicle that looks like ours, that has lights like we do. You also have a sweater in your front seat with a badge, and you have yet to provide us any type of credentials.
I can provide credentials.
We already
Well, get ready.
asked you for those.
No,
and you
she
don't.
asked me if I had an ID for Lincoln County.
So what credentials can you provide us?
My cert credentials.
Cert credentials, you say?
For what?
Community Emergency Response Team.
Community Emergency Response Team. If you don't know what this is like volunteers that will work in like community centers and stuff like that. It's a way for some departments to sort of like have citizens connected to the police department for community events and things like that. They don't even rise to the level of like a reserve officer who has some level of responsibility when working. These are just basically volunteers that are connected to a sheriff's department or a police department.
Where is it?
It's on my phone.
It's on your.
The credentials are so valuable that he has them on his phone. I mean, if the car isn't enough to convince you he's cert, then he's got information on his phone that will lead to his exoneration. Tell you what, man, when cops get in trouble, they call SWAT. When SWAT gets in trouble, they call cert.
Well, my lieutenant is checking with the sheriff's office to see if you do, in fact, work for their emergency management team. Okay, but
The sheriff's office.
aside from that, you have all these other things on your car that you can't have. Okay?
But I can have the ones in the rear. I
No,
can
you
prove
can't.
it to you.
How can you prove it to me?
I can show you the state law.
Well, I can show you the state statute too that says that you cannot have that
Oh, boy. Got ourselves a legal dick measuring contest here, boys.
stuff on your car.
But
Okay?
I can't.
Anything that alludes to that vehicle being a police car, like i.e. the police interceptor sticker, you cannot have, which you do.
Combination
The
of
combination of the lights, the police interceptor sticker, all of those things.
Well,
Okay.
can I see your supervisor?
You want to see him?
You just went full sovereign citizen. Let me see your supervisor. Oh, my gosh. Moral of the story. If you work for the National Weather Service, I encourage you to start your own police department so that you can be led by this fine young gentleman right here. And if you're not a cop, don't pretend to be one. Live in reality. It's better that way for everybody.